you of all colors, in all cultures, in all sexual orientations, in all religious and non-religious identity, a part of that wind at his back. Is that right, y'all? Is that right, y'all? Barack Obama is my brother. He's my companion and comrade. And I support him not simply because he's brilliant and articulate. I expect black folks who go to Harvard to be articulate. There's a difference between being eloquent and articulate. He's an eloquent brother. He's a good brother. He's a decent brother. And he aspires to statesmanship right when the American empire is in such deep crisis. And he keeps track of the catastrophic conditions like the prison industrial complex and the racist criminal justice system and the disgraceful schools in our city. Unavailable health care and child care, not enough jobs for the living wage. That's what Barack Obama represents in this presidential campaign. Believe me, his character and his judgment always trump all the pseudo-rhetoric about experience. Let's be real about it. We in the Apollo tonight. Let's be honest about it. What we have to recognize, and I say this especially to black people, we're going to use the musical tradition as a model. You see, you don't expect John Coltrane to be Johnny Hodges. You don't expect Alicia Keys to be Aretha. But we love all of them because they're part of the community. Barack Obama comes at this particular historical moment in the year 2007, and we don't expect him to be Frederick Douglass or Marcus Garvey or Malcolm X or Martin Luther King Jr. He is his mama's child and his daddy's son, and we love him for his vocation, his voice, and his vision. That's what it is to be part of a community of structure. So we accept him for what he is in process, and we push him so that he can be the best that he can be, as we are the best that we can be. You all understand what I'm talking about? I don't want to go on too long. You didn't come here to hear me run my mouth. But I do want to introduce you all to something.
Can't call him now. I had that white lady. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? So you want to get it now? I met Barack a few times, and I'm really, the guy's smart. I love that he voted against the war. Black people drowning, no time. He was in California so fast, he was helping them out. He was putting out fires with Katrina water. Pouring Katrina water on the fire. All right, enough jokes. I'm not going to
so good to follow Cornel West and Chris Rock. Oh, boy. I am so grateful, first of all, to Cornel West, who is not only a genius, a public intellectual, a preacher, an oracle, that's what we call him, the oracle.
but, you know, he's also just a loving person. And so for him to take the time out to be here tonight is just extraordinary. Please give Cornel West a big round of applause. And what can I say about Chris Rock? The most astute political observer that we have right now, obviously the funniest comic we have in the country, and a great friend, so give it up for Chris Rock. I don't know. Everybody's got that black sheep in the family that... Everybody's got that crazy uncle in the attic, in the undisclosed location. His name will not be on the ballot. The days of Scooter Libby justice and Brownie incompetence and Karl Rove politics will finally be over. But when you go into that voting booth and you pick up your ballot, you will have to ask yourself a profound question. And that is, what is next for America instead? We were promised a unifier and got a president who couldn't even lead the half of the country that voted for him. About half of them voted for him. They don't admit it now. We were promised a more ethical and efficient before. And the only mission that was ever accomplished was to use fear and falsehoods to lead this country into a war that should have never been. And has not made America more safe. In this race right now, because that's the party that America needs to be right now. That's what people are hoping for to the world as it might be. What they're looking for, what America is looking for right now is not just a change in policies, but a change in leadership. They're not looking for a party that will just offer change as a slogan. What they want is a party that will offer real, meaningful change. Change that America can believe in. What they are looking for is a party that doesn't just ask how we can win, but also asks why we should. That's the reason I'm running for President of the United States. To offer up change that America can believe in from companies that are shipping jobs overseas and put those tax breaks in the pockets of hard-working Americans who deserve it. I'm in this race because I am tired of seeing young men in Harlem and the south side of Chicago and south central LA languishing on street corners instead of being put to work and given opportunity. I'm tired of seeing us raise the minimum wage every 10 years. When I'm President of the United States, we'll raise it every single year to make sure there shouldn't be such a thing as the working poor in America. We are a wealthy enough country to make sure that every American has a job. In this race, because I insist on providing every single American health care that they can count on, that's at least as good as the health care I have as a member of Congress. Because you pay my salaries, there's no reason why I should have health care. I know something about this because my mother died of cancer when she was 53 years old. And that was tragic enough. But you know, she spent the last months of her life not thinking about how to get well. She was spending it reading insurance forms because she'd gotten a new job, and the insurance companies were saying that maybe this was a pre-existing condition and they wouldn't have to pay her medical bills. So I know what it's like to see a loved one suffer, not just because they're sick, but because of a broken healthcare system. And it's wrong. And that's the reason why we're not going to wait 20 years from now to have universal health care. We won't wait 10 years from now. We will have health care for every single American by the end of my first term as President of the United States. That's why I'm in this race. I'm in this race to make sure that every child in America has the best education that we have to offer. Don't pass No Child Left Behind and then leave the money behind for No Child Left Behind. We know what to do. We invest in early childhood education. We can close the achievement gap and make sure that every child is prepared when they come. I'll be a president that makes sure that I don't just talk about how great teachers are. I will reward them for their greatness by giving them higher salaries and giving them more support. And I don't know about you, but I think it's about time that we made a college education affordable and accessible to every child in America. That's why I'm in it. To open up the American dream to all children, not just us. Because I'm tired of reading about Gina. I'm tired of reading about nooses. And tired of hearing about a Justice Department that doesn't understand justice. When I'm President of the United States, we will have a civil rights division that actually is investigating crimes. We will have a civil rights division that is enforcing voting rights. We will have a civil rights division that believes in justice and equality for all Americans, because the President of the United States will believe in justice and equality for all Americans. And by the way, your next president will actually believe in the Constitution of the United States of America and will uphold that Constitution. That's why I'm in this race. In this race because I'm tired of Democrats thinking that the only way to look tough on national security is to act and vote and talk like a George Bush Republican. When I am president, when I'm this party's nominee, when I'm the Democratic nominee for president, my opponent will not be able to say that I voted for the war, because I didn't. They won't be able to say that I gave George Bush the benefit of the doubt in Iran, because I haven't. They won't be able to say that I support the Bush-Cheney policies of not talking to leaders that we don't like, because that's not what I believe in. And they won't be able to say that I wavered on something as fundamental as whether or not it's okay for America to torture, because it's never okay. As President of the United States, I will end this war. I will bring our troops home in 16 months. I will finish the fight against Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, those who actually murdered 3,000 American lives. We will close Guantanamo. We will restore habeas corpus. And we will lead the world in confronting the challenges that we face in the 21st century. Nuclear proliferation, climate change, genocide, disease, poverty. And as president, I will send a message to those beyond our shores, all those yearning faces that are looking across the oceans, and I will say, you matter to us. Your future is our future, and our moment is now. America, our moment is now. It is time to declare that America's back, and we are ready to lead by deed and by example, not just by our military. You know, people ask me sometimes, why run now? Why wait? Why wait? I don't want to spend the next 4 years having the same arguments we had in the 1990s. I don't want to pit red states against blue states, red America against blue America. I want to lead the United States of America. And let me tell you, if Republicans come at me with the same fear-mongering and swift voting that they usually do, I will go right back at them. Because I believe the American people are tired of fear and they are tired of distraction. They want to talk not about fear, but they want to talk about the future. And if we talk about the future, that will not just be a Democratic victory. That will be a victory for all of America. And it's a victory that this country needs badly right now. I'm not running because I'm trying to fulfill some long-held plans. I'm not running because I think this is somehow owed to me. I never expected to be here. I always knew that this was an unlikely journey, that the odds weren't always with me, but I've never been on a journey that wasn't unlikely. I am running in this race because of what Dr. King called the fierce urgency of now. Because I believe there's such a thing as being too late. And that hour is almost upon us. I don't want to wake up 4 years from now and find out that we still have millions of people without health insurance because nobody had the courage to take on the insurance industry. I don't want to wake up 4 years from now and discover that the oceans have risen a few more inches. And that the planet has reached a point of no return because we couldn't find a way to stop buying oil from dictators and actually have an energy policy that makes sense in this country. I don't want to wake up 4 years from now and discover that we still have more young black men in prison than in college. Still have a drug trade ravaging our communities, that we still have young people without hope and prospects for the future. I don't want to see another generation of young people going through failing schools. I don't want to see that we sent and put more Americans at risk because nobody had the courage or the judgment to ask tough questions before we sent our troops to this. And housing to the homeless. And food to the hungry. I need you standing up, and if you stand up with me, if you're not willing to just settle for what the cynics tell you, you have to settle for. But if you instead are willing to reach for what's possible, then I know that we can heal a nation and repair a world, and finally create the kind of America that our children and our grandchildren can actually believe in again. Thank you very much. Thank you.